my joints were just so stiff, and I remember one day, like, for example, I sat on the floor and I just couldn't get up. My name is Megan, and I live in California.
And yeah, you have some health issues that you overcame. Can you tell me about how you used to feel?
Yeah, so I had rheumatoid arthritis. I started getting symptoms when I was 18. But even before that, I had some sinus problems where it was just, my sinuses would always, I had chronic sinusitis basically is what it's called, where it's just really hard for you to breathe through your nose.
Right.
And then, so I've had that for a while, probably since I was 15. And then when I was 18 or 19, I started getting, my joints started to hurt a lot. And that's called juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, where the immune system thinks that the joints are invaders, and so it attacks the joints. Yeah, that started around when I was 19, and then I had symptoms up until I was about 22.
Right. And then, yeah, you started to change some things around.
Yeah. So I went to a Chinese medicine practitioner when I was 20, and then he gave me lots of herbs and helped me with my healing process. And then he didn't really say anything about diet. He said you could pretty much eat whatever you feel like you want to eat, and so. But I knew, for some reason in the back of my head, I knew that food had to be affecting me in some way, and that diet, I felt, had to play a role in how I felt on a day-to-day basis. It was just something I feel like I knew in the back of my head. And so, well, first of all, when I cut out gluten, and I realized that helped my joints a lot when I cut out eating gluten. And I thought that red meat and meat had so many vitamins and minerals that I had to keep eating it. And so little did I know that once I cut out meat and dairy, that it helped me so much, and
Really?
The inflammation went down so much.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And how bad was it at the time? Like, was there things you couldn't do, or? Before?
It was really bad, actually. I could barely walk.
Wow.
Yeah, my joints were just so stiff, and I remember one day, like, for example, I sat on the floor and I just couldn't get up, and it was really sad, like times like that where you just feel so helpless.
Right. And did the doctor give you any medication or anything?
Yeah, first I went to a rheumatologist, and they gave me some medication, but it wasn't systemic, it more treated the symptoms of it, because if you go to a rheumatologist, they'll tell you you'll have this for the rest of your life, you'll die earlier because you have it, you might end up in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's devastating to hear if you have rheumatoid arthritis, and most people who have it end up getting joint replacements and steroids, and they're on prescriptions their entire life.
Wow. So how did you feel about that outlook?
Oh, I didn't like it at all, because my aunt, who wasn't blood related to me, she had gotten juvenile rheumatoid arthritis when she was like 8. And now her joints are really big, and she's had to have multiple surgeries.
Wow.
And so I was just like, I saw her and I was like, I can't do this, that can't happen to me.
Right.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, pretty sad.
Yeah.
And I know you changed some more things in your diet. So
yeah.
What happened next?
So after I went vegan, I was feeling pretty good, but I wanted to feel my best. You know, everyone wants to feel their best and perform at their highest, you know, be able to be the best they can be. And so I actually got in a bicycle accident, and I cracked my head, and I was in the hospital for a few days, and I got a concussion, a really bad concussion, and then I started getting headaches. I had to take a semester off school. I was in college at the time, and I was getting chronic headaches, and they started going away, but then I don't know, like a year later they started coming back, and again I was like, this has to, like, food has to help me, because something told me that, like, something we put in our bodies 3 times a day at least is going to affect how we feel. And so I turned to food again, and I saw Fully Raw Christina, the YouTuber, and she had a 2-week Fully Raw challenge that I did, and I felt really good, and I felt really energized. And at the time it was really hard because I was doing high fat, where I wasn't sure how to feel full, and so it was like I have to eat lots of fat to feel full. And so I was like putting, you know, tons of almonds like in a smoothie with some kale and like blending it up, and I was like, this is kind of hard to eat. And but then I saw FruityLou, the banana girl, and she was talking about high carb, and so I started going more towards that path. And then ever since then I've been eating like a high carb, mostly raw diet. Just for the past year and a half I've been like experimenting with how I feel doing certain things, eating mostly raw, like but yeah, for the past year and a half I've been like 90% of the time I've been raw food. So
and what about the sinusitis? When did that go away?
So I kind of noticed that I do get stuffy when I eat cooked foods, and so I'd rather eat raw foods, because if I eat raw foods for like a day or 2 consecutive days, I'll notice that I won't have any congestion in my sinuses at all, which is amazing for me. So I would much rather eat like high fruit, especially because if I eat lots of nuts and avocado, they kind of build up mucus. And so I'd rather just eat fruit.
And what about the headaches? When did that disappear?
Okay, so my headaches, once I started eating mostly raw, they started to go away, but now I realize that certain foods, like for my arthritis, I can't have tomatoes and oranges, which is hard to do like for anyone because they taste so good, but so for that I can't eat tomatoes and oranges. And I realized for my headaches I can't really eat the very common Cavendish banana. They kind of cause headaches for me, but now I know that I can eat other types of bananas. So you really have to be sensitive to the little quirks about your body and what it likes and what it doesn't like. And it just takes a lot of consciousness on your part about learning how you feel and really isolating certain foods. And you can just start out raw, but then maybe start to notice, if I eat a mono meal, you could try mono meals of like bananas or oranges or something, and then like for me, if I eat oranges, I'll know, I'm a little stiff, maybe I shouldn't eat oranges.
Okay. And just to be totally clear, the arthritis, is it completely gone, and when did it completely get away?
So the arthritis is completely gone. I don't have any symptoms anymore. So when I went vegan, pretty much it went away. One thing I have to say is that a big thing in my healing journey is aloe vera juice. I have about a tablespoon every morning, and it helps so much with my joints. I don't know what it is. It might be the polysaccharides, it might be something else in it, but aloe vera juice is one tip that I have to give to anyone. It's so easy. Just drink like a tiny bit in the morning and you'll feel so much better.
And is there any other things that you've improved? Like, how do you feel overall now on the diet?
I feel really good. I do yoga every day, and I was doing Ashtanga regularly every day last summer when I was living next to an Ashtanga studio, and I could feel myself improving so much more quickly when I was eating just fruit and some vegetables. And I just feel like I have so much energy and really excited about life, and just I'm more able to see the bright side.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Well, thanks, Louise.
If you would like to know more about how I got well naturally, you can go to my website and get more information. Here you can get a Get Started guide where I tell you all about the diet and lifestyle that I used, and you can also download my top 5 tips totally free. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.